like a rubber porcupine.
Welcome, citizen.
What's up, guys? We are at PAX 2015 in a secret, undisclosed hotel room location with Lee Petty from Double Fine.
I don't want to disclose anything, but it is in a hotel.
Yeah, that's as much as we can say.
Much as we can say. We saw, I think, the most mind-bending game of the show so far for me, which is Headlander, the new Double Fine Adult Swim joint.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Headlander is a side-scrolling action-adventure game, and it's set in a future world that looks as though it would have been designed in the 1970s. So it's heavily inspired by 1970s science fiction, and you are just a head. You're the only organic human left in this whole universe. Everyone else is in robotic bodies, and you have a little special helmet that lets you like fly around the world and dock into bodies and control their things. You know, it's just like another one of those headlanding games.
Oh,
Right,
another
right.
headlanding game.
Yeah. It was
Docking into bodies.
at first it was Infinite Runners, and those were super huge. And it's been like 3 years of nothing but headlanding games.
It's true.
This is such an insane concept, and what I love is, you know, it's not just aesthetically wonderful, and it's not just trippy as hell. Like, you're not just going for weird. There are a lot of incredibly solid puzzle and combat things going on. So tell me why we are ahead and how that helps us get through areas of the game.
Yeah. Well, one of the, like a lot of those movies from the 1970s and literature from that era, it's kind of a mystery as to why you're in this world as just a head. You sort of wake up and you sort of like, well, where am I at? But you can't get any words out because you got no lungs. You can't even speak. And you've got a friendly voice in your helmet kind of guiding you through your experience there. But this helmet that you've been given is designed to specifically work in this world that's been designed by a computer. So it uses like a standard size interface docking ring to control a lot of things. And the helmet can interface with that. And so you can use it to like vacuum off heads of enemies and land into their bodies and take control of them. You can use it to remove access hatches to find other secret passageways through the world, or you can use it to even override computer terminals and manipulate the environment in certain ways.
It almost gave me like a Lego vibe. Like you're a little Lego guy popping heads off of things and sticking your head onto it. It's such a clever concept, and you go so far with figuring out different iterations on that. Adapting bodies that have weapons in them, putting your head on things that a human head should not be on.
But it's
crazy.
also, I also love the core, you know, this is kind of a Metroid-style exploration game in a certain way, and what I love is you are putting your head on people with different levels of security clearance, and that's how you're getting through the game, and I think that's really fantastic. But I also love the combat, because it's not just straight run and gun combat too. I love, you have like a Donald Duck in Math Magic Land thing going that I really love.
Yeah. Well, our goal with the combat was to make it so that there was a lot of improvisation on the player's part, that they could feel they could approach it in different ways. And how that works for us is that, you know, when you're in a body, you've got a laser and you can shoot and you can take cover and you can bounce, because all of our lasers bounce in the world. But you can also launch your head, and it has a bounce shield and various abilities. So it really is a very different way of approaching the combat. And thrown into that mix, we have some proceduralism with the type of enemies you're facing, and they kind of run in from different angles, and you can telefrag people, you can run your body into it and it'll explode, and you can launch them, you can melee them, you can bounce lasers around, and it's all a little chaotic. But because the player has the ability to kind of lose that body and launch their head off and go find another one, it's not really punishing in the way a game might normally be. And so you feel like you can experiment a bit in those combat scenarios and have a lot of fun.
You were telling us right before we turned the camera on about your sort of personal love of 70s sci-fi and how that's something that has been a part. You have movie collections and
The
stuff like
details in this game are just amazing.
It's exquisite. Did the concept for the game come first from the head idea, or did it come from you wanting to explore these sort of 70s sci-fi themes?
You know, it's weird. I think kind of all came simultaneously for me, but I'd say I've been a fan of 1970s and science fiction for a long time. And one of the reasons I really like it is it's not only that the aesthetics of the era are really cool, you know, all this furniture and fashion design and lighting and all that, but also, you know, it kind of came on the heels of the sexual and cultural revolution, and it was also when technology was just starting to become part of everyday life. Like, everyone kind of started to know what a computer is. We didn't really understand it, and we didn't know how it fit in with our future world. So a lot of those movies are kind of almost a naive take on that the world is going to end because this computer is going to take over it. But you could just get in a logic loop and win the day, right? You know, and so
Now we know that that's not going to save us. We're doomed anyway.
yeah, we're just doomed. But those themes, those same themes about like, well, how do humans and technology fit together, are still, I think, really relevant today. But in some ways, framing it into a 1970s context, let us sort of look at it in a satirical way and kind of at a distance to almost see how ridiculous our ideas then were about it. And
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
there are things that you run into. There are rooms like the fondularium
Yes.
and the boob tubery, and it's all of these, like you're saying, these very clearly 70s influenced things where it's like, well, they were destroyed by too many television screens.
Yes.
They
But
are
also
all
like this hedonistic, human desire for pleasure,
Yeah.
and then when you have all of your needs taken care of by the computer, this is where you end up. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's that, and that's, some of those movies use that as a vehicle to sort of critique the sort of authoritarian government. Vietnam was going on and all that sort of stuff. And I think on another level, a lot of people just felt it was culturally relevant at that time. They're like, yeah, of course the future's gonna be robots serving us, and we're gonna chill out in boob tuberies and fondle shagwalls all day.
Who are you taking shots at, Lee Petty? What's your political agenda?
I hate everyone.
You're on notice.
This looks absolutely amazing, and I know
Yeah.
that you guys are still, you're saying you're balancing a lot of stuff, you're still adding a lot of stuff. Do we know when we're going to see Headlander?
2016.
2016.
Yeah, and it'll be on PC and consoles, but we haven't had any final dates or platforms announced yet.
And it's just headlander.com if we want to keep up with
Go
that.
to headlander.com. We've got the trailer up there and some screenshots, and you can see players' head on a lot of different bodies.
Honestly, I think Anthony and I came away from this demo feeling like this is one of the most exciting games coming next year. I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to talk a little bit more about our impressions of the demo that Lee was kind enough to walk us through on Jeff's channel. So be sure to subscribe over there. That's youtube.com/KanataJeff. And of course, we will have more from PAX 2015 all weekend here. So subscribe here as well. Lee, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It was a blast.
Thanks.